Thank you very much. I'm going to say it again. What a great time it is to be a woman. Before we head into our final presentation in the empowerment segment, another quote. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking that they don't have any. Alice Walker. Our final presenter in the empowerment segment is Mr. Cash Grant, John Edghill. He needs want me to introduce him. You're going to introduce yourself. All right.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, beautiful women. Good afternoon. I asked and I needed to skip the introduction because she told me I have to keep it tight. So I wanted to save every minute to say to you what I was asked and tasked with today. Before I go into the substantive part of my presentation, I want to bring you greetings on behalf of the Honourable Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Ms. Onej Warren, Member of Parliament, who would have loved to be here, but has cabinet meetings right now attending to matters of the state. And I want to join with her in extending, I have to say, belated Happy International Women's Day. And I heard someone saying earlier, Happy International Women's Month. So Happy International Women's Month to all of the women in the room. I was tasked by the Women's Chamber of Commerce, and I want to applaud them at this moment in time, give them a round of applause, to speak today on opportunities for women in business, or something to that effect. When I read it, that's the idea that I got. So if I don't speak on the topic they asked, just know that that's the topic I wanted to speak about, right? So the first thing I want to say to us today, and it is the perspective that I have adopted as to how we must look at opportunities. Opportunities exist in every gap. So if we live in a country called Guyana, and there's a gap for a particular item, a particular service, a particular thing, that is where the opportunity lies. So on a Friday night, many times I don't want to go to outside bar. Some people, young people know where that is, and older people wondering where is outside. They probably think it's outside your house. That is not it. So on a Friday night when I want to go and just have a casual, friendly, family-oriented activity, there are limited options. And you agree? Okay, I'm speaking to myself. Yes. Yes, we agree. So what are some of the things that you would love to do, but you can't do? That is where the gap exists, and that is where the opportunity exists. I remember when I was much younger, there was a bowling alley called Karma. Anybody knows about Karma Bowling Alley? Located somewhere, what do you call that area? Houston area. Now in Guyana, we have no bowling alley, at least not to my knowledge. And immediately, that is where, like I opened by saying, opportunities exist where gaps exist. I'm not telling anybody to leave today and go and invest in a bowling alley. The practical example I'm using today is for our edification so that we can be able to look at the opportunities and to see those things that you would love to do. You know that the demand is there. People would love to get involved in, people would love to spend their monies on, but they simply do not exist. I like to look at Shark Tank. I look at that religiously. And there's a particular episode where an entrepreneur was pitching his business, and this man's business is lighted, what do you call it? He has fairy lights on his beard. So for men with beards who love to groom their beards, show off their beards, he has created these decorated fairy lights for beards. Is that something any of us would ever think about in our life? And somebody just said, why? But the man has become a millionaire by developing fairy lights for your beard. I mean, I'm not going to buy one. But the fact remains, there was a gap, there was an idea in his head, and he did not say, who will want to do that? Many times we limit ourselves, and I almost said many times as women. So I have to be careful. I told one of my friends that I'm a bit nervous when I'm speaking to women. I'm not usually nervous when I give speeches, but I was very intimidated when I came to speak today. So forgive me if I make any mistake. The next speech you hear me at, you won't hear any mistakes. So we have to be able to not limit our own selves. Because many times we go to people, and people tell us that will never work. I'm sure the man with the fairy light beard, when he told even his father or his mother, people that he considers to be confidants, right? Intimately involved with. I'm sure if he shared that idea, they would have said, you are crazy. And these are things that we have to be looking at. I remember, I think it was 2021, and I'll use a Guyanese example now. There was a young lady who wanted to join the tourism sector. And she saw that there was no bicycle rental services available in this country, or not on a commercial level. I'm sure many of you already know who I'm talking about. Today, she has one of the most profitable Georgetown tours in this country. Her name is Sherianne Green, and I don't see her in the room today, but she has a ride-along GY. And that is an example of how we have to pioneer our thinking. If we just look to what someone else has done, and we want to walk in their footsteps, we will never be able to reach where they're going. Because after some time when you're walking behind them, you don't see the footsteps anymore. They start to run because they build up a momentum. And you can no longer follow in their footsteps. You can only go so far when you follow people. You have to have your own thinking and be able to do things your way. You might start off being inspired by someone, but you can't try to just walk in somebody's shadow. The light will come, and you will no longer be able to follow them. There are particular investments being made in our country right now, and I want to position these and help you to be able to think after I made that preface. Several regions are experiencing vast infrastructural and focused development. I'll start with Region 6. I'm sure many of you, about a week ago, would have seen that a national stadium is being built in Berbice. And you might be in Georgetown thinking, what does that have to do with me? When they build the stadium and the Warriors playing somebody and hopefully not losing in the finals, I will go. But what else does that have to do with me? With that stadium being built at Palmyra, which is when you go over the river, that community is before you turn off to New Amsterdam or Quarantine, just to help those people who don't know the country too well. It's where the Indian monument is located. That same community will also have a shopping mall. A hotel is under construction already, and it will become the urban center for Region 6 and for Berbice. 15 years ago, Providence was not the way that it was. When you get a land at Providence, it was 500,000. You didn't have any electricity. You had to bring a generator into the community to actually live there. And look at Providence now, one of the most modern communities in our country. Any business would love to go and set up in Providence now, but the monies they have to spend to get a simple piece of land prohibits them from making that investment. So in Berbice, you will see a similar model. 700 homes are going to be constructed in Palmyra this year. So you already know that houses and people are moving to this community as well. You know that a stadium is being built, a hospital is being built, a mall is being built, and an entire shopping district. So how can you position yourself? With those investments, there are many things that need to be done. People want entertainment. People want professional business services. I told this young lady that I'd look at her because when I look at her, I know when it's my time to stop. Right? So if you see I just randomly come off the stage, she has hinted to me that my time has come to an end. So there are several services that we can be able to position ourselves to do in those communities, because the community will now experience that boom of modernization. So the right time to invest in such an area is now. Because similar to what we experience in Providence, and we all know the story of Providence, if you wait till 2038, the cost of investment will multiply 500 times fold. Similarly, with the Region 9 to Region 10 interconnectivity, we're repaving the entire road from Linden to Mabura, doing 40 bridges, and connecting Region 4 into Linden, and then Linden all the way to Letham. With those investments, we need, again, entertainment, professional business services, and a whole host of other fields. Hospitality, because every weekend, already people go to Linden, but then with the road to Letham, people will want to travel that entire journey. So what will you provide along that journey? Will you provide a rest stop? Will you provide a bread and breakfast? Will you provide massage therapy? Right now I have back pain, just like Andrea. She poked fun at me, so I have to poke back fun at her. So what are the services that you see a modern society that is being built will need? People will want food. People will want relaxation. People will want tour guides. So what are the things that we can be able to provide and meet those gaps that are now emerging? How long do I have? 5 minutes? Thank you, timekeeper. With those opportunities, there's something that's very, very important, and that is the opportunity for financing. And as you heard earlier, my nickname is Mr. Cash Grant. But I did not walk with $1 million, and I can't give anybody $1 million today. But what we do have are programs and services under the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Commerce, through the Small Business Bureau, that can be able to provide access to financing for you. I don't want to speak too much about the Cash Grant program today, because I see that we have a more beneficial and stronger program that can be able to help you. But I do want to share some numbers very quickly. In 2021, the Small Business Bureau disbursed 746 grants at a total of 746 grants. And of that amount, 458 of those went to women. Give them a round of applause. In 2022, we disbursed 1,400 grants, and out of that amount, 885 of those went to women. Give them another round of applause. For both years, that was over 60%. But when it came to our loan guarantee program, we found that more men were benefiting than women. So this is the program I want to talk to us about today. Since we already have, with the grant program, women are benefiting. So I don't want to belabor the point. In our loan guarantee program, we do several things. The first one is that we provide concessional financing for businesses. The way this program works is that we work through what are called partner financial institutions, and we have 2 of those right now, the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry and the Republic Bank Limited. So the arrangement with these 2 banks is that they can disburse up to $30 million, and the government of Guyana will guarantee those loans at a rate of between 40 to 70% of the collateral requirement. So that is to say that if your collateral requirement is $1 million, the government of Guyana can commit $400,000 to $700,000 of that collateral requirement. The main problem and the main issue facing most women when they go to the commercial banks to get a loan is the collateral requirement. So I want to urge the Women's Chamber of Commerce and the women business owners who are watching online and here in this room who are not a part of the Chamber of Commerce to utilize this program. Because if you go on your own accord, you will have to, for the entire bill of having the collateral requirement. But if you come through the Small Business Bureau, we are able to facilitate collateral or credit guarantee assistance. The second part of that program is that we have a maximum interest rate fixed with those partner financial institutions. So if you go again alone to the bank might tell you for this business loan you need to have, well, we will give you it at 14% interest, and that's around the average at the moment. It might be higher in some cases depending on the risk. But with our facility, we have capped it at 6%. So they cannot go higher than 6% once they are going to be disbursing this loan to you. So not only are you getting assistance with the collateral requirement, but the interest rate will be capped at no higher than 6%. We are currently working to have more commercial banks come on stream, and that is something that we would hope that the Women's Chamber would join us in echoing so that the other commercial banks would come online and come onto this program and be able to disburse more loans to the women of Guyana. I want to close with just a few more points. She told me to wrap up. She's doing good with time. I just want to close by saying the final point, opportunities for information. And what I've done today is share some information with you. And I want to share some of the programs that we will be executing throughout the course of this year. The first one is called Export Readiness Training. So we have many small-scale manufacturers, agro-processors, who are women in Guyana. But they do not know all of the requirements, all of the necessities, and all of the details to actually be able to export their products to other countries in the Caribbean, in North America, in Europe, etc. We will be doing a comprehensive training program that will allow persons to be trained to know, okay, you want to get your products to Barbados, what are all of the requirements that you need to do to align your products or services to be able to get it to that particular destination. Secondly, in a matter of weeks, we'll be hosting a very large procurement training, and that procurement training will allow not just women, but men alike to be able to understand all of the requirements, again, to be able to bid for government contracts. So you will not just be able to benefit from procurement coming from the private sector, but you'll be able to benefit from procurement from the government. And finally, we heard a lot about mentorship today, and we will also be executing an entrepreneur mentorship program where we hope to work with some of our local business coaches to be able to provide expertise and that one-on-one training so that persons can make strategic decisions when they have those kinds of conversations and intimate conversations with their business coach. I see both Anita and my timekeeper are saying that it's time to wrap up. So with those few words, I would like to encourage you that if the opportunity does not exist, and if the opportunity is not knocking for you, the only thing that you can do is to build the door and open it yourself. Thank you very much.